As the Brussels airport reopens today, questions are swirling over whether authorities missed crucial warning signs leading up to the deadly bombings. An AP report revealing that Brussels airport bomber Ibrahim Bakraoui passed unchecked through several airport terminals in the months leading up to the attack. This despite Turkish officials labeling him, quote, a foreign terrorist fighter. So, what does this say about Europe's security and intelligence sharing? Joining us now is the founder and president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy, Dr. Zuhdi Jasser. Good morning.
Good morning, Peter. It's good to be with you.
So it seems like there are countries now in Europe and the Middle East who are concerned with getting these terrorist foreign fighters out of their country, but then once they kick them out, they don't care what happens. Is that about right?
Yeah, and it really, every time we go through this, Peter, it's like we do this post-mortem after a major attack, and we wonder, well, how did this happen? And we realize as we peel the onion, there's two major areas. One is the sheer volume of the jihadists and Islamists, and the lack of coordination within European countries and between countries having different strategies and responding differently to communications they get. So one is the volume, and the second, Peter, which is more important, is the lack of vetting for any ideological filter or profiling. We do not, and the European Union does not vet for political ideology as far as Islamist or jihadism. And even the countries like Turkey that are saying, well, these are foreign terrorists, notice they said they're foreign terrorists. They didn't say Islamist. Why? Turkey's run by Islamists, so they're not going to be vetting for the ideology that they are actually creating in their own countries.
How would that kind of a vetting work, though? Do you just ask these people, are you a terrorist? Are you an Islamic radical? How would that work?
Well, this is the problem, because right now, hysterically, we're asking the individuals, the terrorists themselves, or the Islamists that are coming, do you have you ever thought about committing an act of terror? It's all about the act. They're going to say no to that. While if we actually, our Muslim reform movement has a declaration that looks at principles that are a firewall between Western principles of freedom and those that are Islamist. So we need to find out about Caliphism. Do they believe in any type of caliphate? Are they part of Islamist political movements? Do they believe in jihad, especially militant jihad? There are ways to vet. In the Cold War, we did this with communism. And the countries that we use today to help us would be like in the Cold War using Cuba or China to help us vet Soviet communism. I mean, those were communist countries that we would never trust in telling us who the communists were that were coming into the West.
And why is it that the countries that are finding these foreign fighters, like Turkey and Saudi Arabia, why don't they ever tip us off and say, hey, we just found this guy and we deported him, keep an eye on him, he could do something bad? Why don't they ever do that?
Well, because for them to tip us off truly would be to basically expose the ideologies within their own country. Turkey's run by the AKP, an Islamist Brotherhood type party. Saudi Arabia's Wahhabi Islamists are radicals, militants in their government that are theocrats, that are basically ISIS is their stepchild. So yes, they may say they're with us in exposing the terrorists that want to do acts of terror, but they're only focused on the last week or two, and we always find out that that's very late. And if we're going to vet against these thousands that are coming into Europe, we have to use our own vetting for our own ideals of secularism, freedom, and democracy against Caliphism and Islamism, which Saudi Arabia and Turkey are really part of.
Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Peter.
Great political panel right after this.